La 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 la. Me, me, me. Hello everyone, hello, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Vinyl Review. Today we're going to be speaking about some country music, in particular Conway Twitty's Heart and Soul from, I want to say 1980. This album's brilliant. I think there's so much to talk about, but first, country music in general. I love a bit of country music, I always have. I love all sorts. I like, I swear his name's Luke Jones. He's a newer country artist who did a cover of Fast Car. That was great. The best country rock band around at the moment is Blackberry Smoke. I have 3 of their albums on vinyl and I love them. Their 2021 album, You Hear Georgia, was my album of the year for that year. You know, they are brilliant and I cannot get enough of their stuff. I've heard it all, even though I've only got 3 other albums on vinyl. I like a bit of Steve Earle. Steve Earle's fantastic, especially his Copperhead Road album. That is brilliant. Even though Steve Earle said in an interview, which I've seen, that Noel Gallagher apparently can't write a song. Me and Steve would disagree on that, but there we go. That was funny. And like, everyone loves the classics, like Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash is a legend, the Man in Black. Bob Dylan is technically more folk than country, but Bob Dylan's great. I'm blanking on country artists now. Oh, so you got someone like, obviously Dolly Parton is just, everyone loves Dolly Parton. I mean, there's nothing not to like. She's so talented and she's such a nice person. Like, when Dolly Parton hosted Glastonbury, or was like the headliner for Glastonbury, somebody, after the whole gig was over, somebody had abandoned their dog there. They had left their dog in that field to die, and somehow it got out and it made wind to Dolly Parton. She heard about this, so she paid for that dog. She paid to adopt that dog and bring it over to the States with her. She's brilliant, and she's good friends with another country singer I've been getting into, quite an old one, which maybe if you don't know country you might not know her, but Tammy Wynette, I swear that's how you pronounce her name. I've got one of her albums on vinyl actually. I don't want to really dig it out now, but it's definitely in there. I admit that for like Tammy Wynette, she has a song on a GTA 5 radio station. That's how I first heard of her. But particularly today, we're going to be talking about Conway Twitty. Now, this album was near impossible to find, because although, like, obviously in America country music is massive, in the UK it wasn't as big. Maybe like in like the 50s and 60s it was, but as time progressed and you got more genres of music coming out, especially over here in the UK, country music just sort of fell out of the popular genres. And so especially in 1980, you know, you got new wave, you got disco, you got all these different things that are sort of pushing country music out the way in the UK, and for that reason country stuff, particularly country stuff in good nick like this, is nearly impossible to find. Like, I've been to every record shop within my physical vicinity to try and find this album, and I couldn't do it. And then on places like Discogs and eBay, I could only find them in the States, and you'd have to get them shipped over, which is a nightmare, because shipping an album over from the States, not that I've ever done it, but usually it's about $30 just for shipping, you know. And although I love this album, I wasn't prepared to pay that much. So let's talk about this album in the looks. Now, so I bought this on eBay, and it was from someone's private collection, which they had put in the listing. And to be honest, it's got a bit of ring wear, which is where the vinyl shows on the, but that's like normal for like really old vinyl. This has got to be like 40 years old, 50 years old. But other than that, it is perfect. It is beautifully clean. There's no marks on it at all. So obviously I need to take good care of this one because it's spotless. And the actual album artwork, I like the lettering at the top. The bugger, what's it called? Typeface. But I mean, it's just like a classic sort of hay bale American country sort of look, and the hairstyle was always funny. But it's not really like his. So Conway Twitty is famous for not having like the most personality, if that makes sense, of not being very flamboyant, and that is where some of the jokes around him comes from. And now I'll be honest with you, I was introduced to Conway Twitty's music by a popular animated American sitcom that would play his songs. So this sitcom would have really raunchy, offensive jokes that were not allowed on Fox. So Fox would say, you can't do that. So what they would do was they would play a whole Conway Twitty song to make Fox pay for the rights. And they chose Conway Twitty because the guy who made this American sitcom, he's called Seth, thinks that Conway Twitty isn't a very good live performer because he doesn't really, you know, it's just a bit dull. But at least that's their opinion, you know, and that was what that joke was. But in a way, it like introduced his music to people like me who hadn't heard it and now really enjoy it. You know, so there was upsides to that, but that's how I heard of it. And I do get it. You watch some of his performances and he's like, say like on one end of the scale you would have Prince and Michael Jackson, who are very flamboyant and dancey and like, you know, it's more like a show. Whereas for someone like Conway Twitty, who are on the other end of the scale, they do just stand there with their guitar and they don't really do anything. They're not a Mick Jagger, which is fine, but that was just some of the criticism. And the back cover is always great. You can always like stick a live photo on the back, which a lot of artists do. Even Oasis have done that for their Masterplan one. But let me show you the. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'll show you that as well. Nice MCA sleeve with. Oh my god, I forgot. Lynyrd Skynyrd. Lynyrd Skynyrd's first album is a masterpiece, and I meant to mention that earlier when I was talking about country artists. But this does come with a leaflet for Twitty City in America, which I always thought was so funny. Come see it, you build it. Twitty City is what every country music fan wants in Nashville. A chance to meet a star, see his home, his place of business, and much more. All in one place. On more than 9 acres of beautifully landscaped grounds in Hendersonville, just across the street from the House of Cash, Conway Twitty has built an entertainment complex called Conway's Showcase, plus a gift shop and residences for Conway and all his family. Conway, his wife Mickey, and their children all live and work here. When he's not on the road, Conway spends a great deal of time in his offices, which are located on the grounds of Conway Showcase. Utilizing state-of-the-art multimedia audiovisual techniques, Conway Showcase breaks through the traditional museum concept to generate an exciting entertainment experience built around the life and career of one of the most popular performers and recording artists in the world today. So, I mean, that's interesting. I wonder if that's still around over there in good old Tennessee. I've been to Tennessee. I love Tennessee. You know, I love a bit of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Beautiful area. But yeah, I mean, that's great. So, let's talk about the songs. So the songs on this album, in my opinion, are brilliant. And I admit that I haven't heard all his albums. He's got like 30 odd, and I haven't really gone through and listened to them all. But I chose this one to listen to like a few months back in like earlier in the year, because it's got We've Got Tonight on it, which is a Bob Seger. He covers the Bob Seger song We've Got Tonight, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know whether it counts as country music, but I love a bit of Bob Seger. and seeing that he covered that's why I chose this album. Gave this album a listen, absolutely loved it. So here I am, finally having it on vinyl. I'm very happy. It sounds superb on vinyl. So he kicks off with a Ben Peters song, For My Woman's Love. For my woman's love. It's a great song, and he really gets up there in the vocal register. Probably my favourite song of his because it's so catchy. I'd love to lay you down in salty whisper, pretty love words in your ear. I will never do an American accent again, I apologise. I've never seen the likes of you and The Feel of Being Gone are two sort of slower cuts on the album, but they're still really brilliant. Of course, We've Got Tonight. We've got tonight, babe, let's find a way. That's one of the best Bob Seger songs, and hearing him cover it is great. Now, the other side, so that side's called Heart, and the other side's called Soul, and this is where the album really gets into its own, because these songs, sort of like a disco country fusion, songs like Soulful Woman, and the beat on that song, like the groove, is brilliant, superb. Smoke of a Distant Fire, which has a really great honky-tonk country groove to it, especially in the chorus. She Thinks I Still Care, which says it's a Dickie Lee song. Now I admit I don't know who that is, but it is a song that Elvis has sung as well. Night Fires, which is a really, really funky and groovy song. Like the funk on that song is turned up to 11. That's brilliant. And then Turn On Your Love Light, which is a great little number to close off the album. But I love this man's voice. Like, in terms of like vocals, I think he's brilliant. And I know this might age me a bit, because especially like a few months ago I had to drive my grandmother somewhere, and he came up, and just like I've got a driving playlist of all sorts of music, but he came up and she loves him, and she was like, oh, I didn't know you like Conway Twitty. I remember when this came out, and it's like, that might age me a bit, but he's brilliant and his voice is fantastic. And yeah, alright, some of his songs can be a bit cheesy nowadays. Maybe they haven't aged perfectly. Like, he's got a song called That's My Job, and although his vocals sound great in that song, he's singing Daddy, and it's a bit cringy, but I like the song Don't Cry Joni. That's a good song. It's got songs like, of course you got all the songs that played on that American sitcom, and there's loads more, like, I'm blanking on them, I hate my brain. Songs like Slow Hand, and Louisiana Woman, Mississippi Man, with his best bud Loretta Lynn, who has a great voice. Anyway, in conclusion, I would give this easily a 7 out of 10. I think it's brilliant, and I would definitely recommend, I keep chucking it down, but I would definitely recommend giving this album a listen if you like a bit of country music. Now, I am going to slowly listen through all his other albums. I might do a video on that, I might not. I'll see how popular this one is. Like, although I don't care about views, I do a little bit care, If I post a video and it gets 3 views, then it's obvious that people don't really care about that artist. But we shall see. 2024, I'm going to make a video talking about next year anyway, when I, make a Christmas video. But 2024 is going to be a big year for me. Well, for us, I should say, me and my partner. We are going to, closer to the end of next year, but we are going to move in together, and we're going to buy a place, which is great for me because, like, although yes, I mean, this is like the new bedroom, new backdrop, but I didn't really design it. I didn't choose to have the bed there. It's my parents' house. They've sort of made that decision. But when I move out, I am going to design like a perfect backdrop for the channel. Like, I want to have my record player back there. I want to have some vinyl, you know, it's going to be brilliant. 2024, exciting year. But anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you again soon. Have a good one.